Ah, good. The boat's coming back up. This boat might be broken, but it has stim packs. So the first time I did this quest, I was completely lost here, and I did not know how to get to the alternate power source. While I'm at it, might as well grab a few of these bits and pieces off of these bodies. You actually have to go up through one of these buildings to get the auxiliary power source. Alright. That's a small generator. Is that attached to it? I don't know. Ah, here we go.
Mr. Navigator, slowly throttle the engines. Keep idling those engines.
I'm confused. This didn't sail up here, right?
Power nominal. Excellent. Commencing final countdown. 3, 2, 1. Mr. Navigator, light the engines. Dreaded savings alone, we shall be moored no longer. We are away. To starboard.
And yes, it is legitimately flying.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
We did it. Victory at last. Helm reports we are a quarter fathom closer to the Atlantic. By my calculations, in a mere century we will take to the ocean. Well done.
So that's progress. Not a lot.
So there they are, stuck in another building. Who the hell is this? Oh, now the scavengers aren't hostile to us. Okay. So, at some point we can go back there and visit them, and the stuff in the captain's quarters will belong to us. But, you know, in the meantime, they're happy. Oh, actually, can I talk to that scavenger? Let's see. Oh, yeah, let's see.
Hi.
Yeah?
That's it. She's like, well, hi. It's like, I guess our whole chance to loot that ship is gone, she says, and it's like, well, okay then. Well. So let's see. We could go with any, we could go with, going to find Brent's Volley, but heck, let's progress the whole Cabot House thing.
Don't forget to stir.
Since this will make us the most charming person in the Commonwealth. Charming beyond all...
Place gives me the creeps.
And that thunder is from the game.
I haven't even seen any thunder lately.
It looks almost like it rained out there, though.
It does.
After this, we should start pumping up luck.
There we go. I'm so disappointed that I didn't get to watch that because I was pouring.
This is maddening.
Mostly because, you know,
Edward,
it's kind of just sad when,
you copy.
because we don't drink, we don't play this game sober.
What's this?
Not anymore.
Ever.
That's stunning. Edward, what's going on there?
We're under attack. They're inside the building.
Inside? Can you keep them out of the basement?
I'm trying, Jack. I've
Wow,
never seen
6-6. Oh, this is going to be a good game, I'm sure.
If you're in baseball.
The doorway, right there. Sorry, things are a little busy around here right now.
Listen, if they're inside the building, you have to go to the office and shut down the elevator. You can't risk them getting to Lorenzo.
Got it. Office, elevator. You better round up whoever you can and get them.
Come on.
Hello?
I
Edward?
need a drink.
Come in. Edward! There's no signal at all. I've lost him.
What's happening, Jack? If these people are inside Parsons, if they free him...
Don't worry, I'll handle it.
Right now they have enough, I think that right now you have enough alcohol.
I never should have allowed you to lock up Lorenzo in that place.
That isn't helping, Mother. And as I recall, using the serum was your idea, not mine.
So what are you going to do?
I said I'll handle it. I'm thinking.
Oh. What do you want?
What's going on?
That was Edward. He's at Parsons, the old asylum. They're under attack by raiders. It's strange. The guards have held off raiders before without any trouble. I don't know what's gone wrong this time.
I found Emma Jean. She's fine.
Oh, yes, good.
Thank God. At least one small comfort on this terrible day.
You'll be wanting to be paid, of course. Edward usually handles these things.
Well, in this
Taxes are
timeline, you don't
used
have to worry
currency,
about taxes.
isn't that right? Here. I hope that's the right amount. Now, we
Death is really
need
the
to
only
focus on
constant.
the current emergency.
How can you be so callous about your sister's safety?
I wonder if these could be the same raiders that stole that last shipment. If some of them had used the undiluted serum, it could explain their unusual success against Edward's men.
What exactly does this serum do?
I suppose it's time you knew. The main benefit of the serum is to halt aging. My family and I are all over 400 years old. But it also confers other side effects, especially in the undiluted form that the raiders stole. It increases strength and resistance to all kinds of physical damage. So at least some of these raiders may be much more dangerous than the ones you're used to dealing with.
Nah, not really.
If you're 400 years old, then you were born before the Great War.
Yes, I think you were too. I'd say mid-21st century.
Ah, you know your history.
That's right. I was in cryosleep until recently.
Interesting. We'll have to talk more about that later, but time presses. Is there anything else before we get going?
I think it's time you told me what's really going on at Parsons.
You're right. It's past time you knew.
Jack, are you sure it's wise telling him all this?
My father, Lorenzo Cabot, is confined in Parsons. He became dangerously unstable after handling an artifact he found on an archaeological...
Alexander,
dig.
you're not
He
transparent.
gained various seemingly paranormal powers, as well as becoming increasingly irrational and violent. In the end, I had no
I have a
choice
diluted
but to
orange
confront
tabby
him
sting in front of the
for
screen
his
right
own
now.
safety, as well as
Who has
ours.
been eating some
In the
tuna.
course of my attempts to cure him, I discovered that the artifact had introduced
I don't know that the Synths have cooler
anomalies into
guns.
his blood. So
In
the
many
source
ways, their
of
guns
his
kind of
insanity
suck.
is also the basis of the treatments that have prolonged all our lives. The irony isn't lost on me, but if he were to escape from Parsons, I would lose my father forever. I will not allow that to happen. Not to mention that the artifact has made him paranoid, homicidally violent, and endowed with extraordinary abilities.
That's fair enough. I wouldn't. I would rather look at the tabby than Jack, except for the fact that he's standing
better
right
get
in
to
front of
Parsons
the
right away, then.
dialogue
Exactly
options.
right. Before we go, I need you to understand something. When we get to Parsons, You need to do exactly what I tell you. Nothing more, nothing less. Is that clear?
Oh, Alex.
I'm not that great at taking orders.
Then it's time to learn, or neither one of us is likely to leave Parsons alive.
Yeah, but you
Make
can
sure
get guns that have
whatever you
flaming
need for a
capabilities
serious
that aren't
battle.
laser
I'll
rifles.
wait for you outside.
Jack, be careful.
I mean,
Try not to hurt him.
oh, try not to hurt him. Yes, Mother. Because, of course, the man that is before us 400 years later is the same man that you married. Ooh.
You were saying about no thunder or no
There
lightning.
was still lightning. I haven't seen it.
I love Father at least as much as you do.
Oh my.
But you
Are they
know
still
as well
6'6"?
as I do that if he gets free, there will only
Because
be
that's,
one option.
like,
Don't let it come to that, please.
I'll do my best.
I actually hear
And if
thunder.
Imogene finally comes home, for God's sake.
Oh,
don't
that's
let her leave
nice.
again until I get back. Now I really
And
do have to
Rascal
go.
is like, wait, what the hell is that? Hop down, and he's gonna go hide.
Our
He-
cat he's crawling underneath the sofa.
Yeah, our cat, our oldest boy cat, just hopped off the recliner, and the next time he hears thunder, I put money on it. He's gonna scurry underneath there and hide. He might steal the box that we're planning on getting Jinxie.
He might.
Yeah, he's hiding under the chair. I love our cat. What's funny is when he was a kitten,
Didn't bother him at all.
it didn't bother him at all. And
Just to
he,
be clear,
like, we lived in Ohio, and he had no problem with thunder. He was just kind of like, whoa, and watch it and everything.
I refuse to let that happen after
But
serving so long.
he's never been hit by lightning. He's never had thunder do anything to him. It's just, we had a period of time where we lived in Washington where there was very rare thunderstorms. And then we moved somewhere where thunderstorms were more frequent, and now we're in Oklahoma.
Where the wind comes
Sweeping down the
plain.
plain
That's made
and the
Lorenzo so
waving
dangerous.
wheat.
I'm sure his psychosis.
God damn it, my allergies! Oklahoma, okay.
It's fused too tightly with his nervous system.
I could probably transport directly to Parsons, but and not have to babysit Jack here. But you never know.
Yeah, but the thing is, I imagine that it is kind of unnerving when the sky starts growling at you for no apparent
I'm well
reason,
aware
but
the apparent conflict
It's-
of interest in my father
it's
being the source
not.
of the treatment
I mean, he's
is prolonging my
inside.
own life.
I mean,
But I assure you,
I
that
don't
if had
even.
the chance,
Then again, he's also not
I
that
would
bright.
gladly give
I mean,
it
he's
all
kind
up
of our
to have
idiot
my
son.
father
We love him, but he's an idiot.
for a short time.
Yeah, I'm likely to run into like a death claw or something here.
At least you're not kissed by the rose.
Or like, a sentry bot. And luckily, because he's a Quest NPC, Jack Cabot is immortal for the moment.
Lucky. Actually, I think he's immortal for this entire quest.
Yeah.
Excuse me while I make out with the one totally hot dude.
I don't know, just super mutants.
Super mutants? You best watch out for a...
Good point.
Good news.
Look at your death!
Okay, that works too.
We've seen the super mutant orders.
Go check the other one. He might have something useful.
Good point. He had bottle caps.
Useful. At least you didn't have 4 of them with missile launchers.
Yeah. Generally, I save the missile launcher for things like Mirelurk Queens and super mutant behemoths.
Or on the rare occasions where you need it for something smaller that has, like, ridiculous HP.
Yeah. The worst thing is when you have like gunners with nuclear weapons. You just hear that whistle, which is kind of funny because generally speaking, if you actually hear
Wow,
the
that
whistle,
was actually pretty good.
yeah, Deathclaw's usually smaller caliber.
Deathclaw depends.
Yeah,
If they're far enough away,
give it a shot.
you can usually hit them with it.
Yeah, funny thing though, note about like that whole whistling
But
sound.
they're usually easier to hit with something smaller caliber.
Generally, if
Large
you hear,
caliber, but smaller than a missile.
yeah, if you hear that whistling sound from an artillery round or something, it means it's not going to hit you. If it actually is going to hit you, you don't hear it.
Oh, that's interesting. You don't hear it till it hits?
Pretty much.
Essentially, you hear the boom, not the...
Yeah, if you actually hear a artillery shell going over your head, it's
It's passed, because it's already broken the sound barrier.
well, not for sure about that, but
Well,
probably yeah.
Well, because if you think about it, Doppler effect. It would have to go by you.
Ooh, level 26.
You never hear the
Sweet.
ones with your name on it.
Just so. Now,
Neither
on the
did
other hand, here's the
neither did
thing.
Osama.
Fact. On the other hand, there's this whole thing about bracketing. They might just be kind of dialing in your position, so they're harsh but true. Let's see.
Black ones immediately.
You know, I'm gonna get the last perk of Black Widow or Lady Killer.
Which is Black Widow.
Yep. All right.
Detroit isn't Fallout.
Close enough.
It's like modern day Fallout. That would be accurate, but it's not. It's not Fallout. Actually, you know something? I want to see that Fallout Detroit.
How would you know the difference?
You would actually have car factories. I'm assuming. Huh?
Yeah.
That's Commonwealth justice for you.
Is that Trash Can Carla? Pretty sure that's Trash Can Carla.
So as an entertaining side note, I read a story today about a cow or a calf that was born with 2 heads.
Legit Brahmin.
I sat there and looked at it. I was like, oh my god, it's a Brahmin! Fallout Detroit would be better than actual Detroit.
But not as
You
good
know,
as...
I can't actually say that. I have in-laws from Detroit. Not that I like them or anything. I mean, it's just, you know, you can't really speak ill of your in-laws or the sibling in-laws. You know, that's an interesting question.
What are you doing, Jack?
Are your family members technically my siblings' family members because we're married? Or because you only married one person, are they that person's in-laws and they're just like fucking random people to you?
Jack, what are you doing? Why are you taking us this way, Jack? God damn it, Jack.
Why is Jack taking us this way? What's over there?
That's the burnt ones area. You know what, Jack?
Jack, you go do you. I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna take a drink.
I'm gonna fucking fast travel to Parsons State Asylum and not let you drag me to any more dumb shit.
They're all in-laws, I think. Oh. I mean, you know, I sat there and I saw an actual mock-up of the in-law or the cousins and stuff removed.
Mm-hmm.
So my Aunt Jude is actually my second cousin once removed, or my first cousin once removed. One or the other. I'm not exactly sure. Anyway, I'm not touching that porn genre reference. I'm not touching it.
Not good enough.
I'm not touching it.
We need to get to my office.
Of course, then again, I have relatives who sat there and said, if you're not gonna, you know, there's something wrong with you if you ain't keeping it in a family. I mean, they were usually saying it jokingly. But then again,
Okay, stick close.
I know a lot
follow
of
my
people-
orders, and I'm
okay.
sure everything will be fine. Let's go.
sidebar. So I have I have a high school classmate who her mother and her husband's mother have the same last name, which where I grew up is a really regrettable thing. I mean, I don't think that there's a direct relation. I hope. I really hope.
You guys have a tome to track these things.
Parsons.
Yeah, my family actually has a collection of genealogy, which actually leads to a funny story. Welcome back to Story Time with
Door's blocked from
Nancy.
the other side somehow. We'll have to find a way around.
So, where I grew up, my one of my older sisters dated a guy from one of the neighboring towns.
Wait, listen.
Okay.
Where that new juice is coming from? Hell yeah, it's gonna be worth it. How'd you get any of it anyway? Lefty doesn't even like you. I cashed in some favors with people who Lefty does like. You just saw because you never got a taste. You better be right. And
Is it mute? Does that one Raider sound like Hancock?
Kind of does.
Okay. Anyway. So my sister in high school started dating a guy. His name was Rick. I'm just gonna use first names.
Quick, did they?
And Rick was a nice guy. He was awesome. Loved the hell out of him. He was like the big brother that I always wanted that I didn't actually get because my big brothers were kind of at times awesome but still asshole-ish because I was their actual little sister and there was a fair distance of age. So, we would sit there and we would harp and whatnot. Ooh, sure. So anyway, Rick was like the big brother that I always wanted, who was never asshole-ish to me. Mm-hmm. Which assholishness is kind of like, part and parcel with the whole older brother thing. So I'm glad somebody felt better after saying cousin porn. Cousin-in-law porn. That's even worse. Actually, you know something? Not really. Because a cousin-in-law isn't going to be somebody that you're
Even remotely
related to. So, actually, I wouldn't feel too bad about that one. I mean, still kind of weird the way you put it, but, okay. So, anyway. So they'd been dating for a while, and it was like junior year of high school, and they'd started dating, and they'd been dating for about 6 months.
Sweet.
And we figured out that he actually lived down the road from my grandmother. His parents lived down the road from my grandmother, about less than a mile, about 3/4 of a mile. And so we were like, okay, well, this is awesome. So he came over to Grandma's house, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Rick," and she was like, "Oh, well, who's your parents?" And we sat there, and he's like, "Well, my parents are so and so and so and so." Who are your grandparents? And he's like, "Well, my grandparents are X and Y." Excuse me. And she's like, "Oh, that's Marty and Mal's daughter. Shoot." And she sat there, she pulled out the book. Now, okay, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, so I'll just mention it here. We have a book that is like 10-point font. It's 10-point font, and it's essentially a genealogy of all known relatives and how far removed they are. Okay? In the United States. Doesn't help us if we're going to Europe, but, in the United States we're covered. And it is 10-point font, and it is literally about 2.5 inches thick. By now it's probably bigger. if they were to do an update. Okay? So it's called The Wrecker Connection. I'm not going to spell it or anything like that, but it's The Wrecker Connection is the title. I'm sure you can find it somewhere.
You kept them from using the elevator?
Bobblehead.
Excellent.
I sent the elevator down to the basement, like you wanted, and shut it down.
Good.
Shot quite a few of them before they decided to leave me alone in here. Haven't seen anybody for quite a while. I think it's hard to keep track of time.
So anyway, they sat there and they figured out
Yeah, Jack. I'm pretty damn sure.
that my older sister
Don't worry about it. Me and your friend
and
here
Rick
have to take care of things ourselves.
were second cousins.
They've definitely reached the basement. Although I don't understand how they knew how to get past it. It doesn't
End
matter.
of the relationship right
Go
there.
through the abandoned part of the building. It looks like the adrenaline field is still functioning. Although several of the security doors in the basement have already been breached. We'd better hurry if we want to stop them. They seem determined to reach Lorenzo.
Charmantastic.
Which, let's see, does that even...
What? 11.
Yep, charisma 11. That's superhuman charisma.
Well, that's good. So yeah, so that's how we found out that Rick was related to us. And then they double checked it with the book. So they double checked it with the book and they were like, yeah, you're like second cousins once removed, which in the state of Ohio is illegal to marry. Mm-hmm. You need to be
What
at least,
exactly is
I
going on
think,
here?
at least it
I
was.
suppose it's time you knew.
But like
It's
my
hard to
my friend
overstate exactly
sat
how
there and
dangerous
married
the
another
artifacts made Lorenzo.
person whose
In addition to being
mother was the
homicidal
same last
psychotic,
name.
He has also gained enhanced strength and unusual resistance to most kinds of physical damage. He also commands a kind of local telekinesis, which appears to be projected by the artifact itself.
It almost sounds like it was talking about people
We need to
marrying
get
in
to
the same last
before these
name.
intruders find a way to
Yeah,
set
it was
Lorenzo
kind of the
free.
last name.
Follow me.
Be careful, Jack.
Well, here's the thing.
You too.
You know, yeah, I kudos to you for living in the suburbs. I didn't have that option. It wasn't an option for me. I grew up where I did. And the reality is that about 3 generations ish back, an entire segment of a population in Germany transplanted from Germany to the United States to where I grew up.
And then they started intermarrying and didn't
And
stop.
because of the fact that this is the horse and carriage time of life, they married within their social circles.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reality. And then, you know,
It kept
not
on from
many
there.
people coming into the next generation, not many people had a car. So they continued to marry. They married a little bit outside of their spectrum,
But not much.
but not much. I mean, it was still rather small. And I would say that actually in most societies, historically, this has been the norm.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you get people with blue eyes and blonde hair, or redheads with green eyes, or any of these. Pick your poison.
Or it just keeps reinforcing itself.
I mean, it essentially it builds upon itself that's the predominance. And you know, this is all part of the reason why by the time it got to my generation, I didn't date in high school
Because everybody was your
at
cousin.
all, because I sat there and I was like, you're in the book, you're in the book, you're in the book, you're not in the book, but my family wouldn't be okay with me dating you because you're not Catholic.
And yeah, so
You know, and so that was essentially it, and that was back when I cared about that sort of stuff. But you know, so the whole idea of you know that norm, well, is the norm. I mean, heck, my mother and my father. Okay, try to wrap
we're
your
running
head.
out of time, by the way.
Oh, we are.
Yeah,
How much?
like less than 5.
Okay, I'll wrap this up. My parents, Okay. On my mother's side, my mother married my father's uncle. My mother's...
Wait, your mother married your father's
no,
uncle?
sorry. I'm blaming this on the alcohol.
Yes.
My mother's grand aunt, so her grandmother's sister, married my father's uncle, which made them both my great grand aunt and my great uncle and grand aunt.
Okay.
Okay? Tab off the cap lock, honey.
Anyway, go on.
Okay? They weren't related, but now suddenly they're related. Both of them are technically related to me on both sides, and their children are now related to me on both sides.
Yeah.
Okay?
Shivers.
And so, knowing all of that in the insanity and having a far better understanding of science, I sat there and I said, the Habsburgs were the Austrian Empire. Franz Ferdinand was the Habsburg that started the Second World War. Anyway, for anybody who needs to know this. So when I was growing up, I sat there and I was like, all these motherfuckers around me are either directly related to me or indirectly related to me, and I, if I have children, do not want to have dolphin babies.
Fair enough. No flipper kids.
No flippers or anything like that. I know that might be a little crass or mean-spirited, perhaps, but I was like that. I don't want that. I don't need more genetic anomalies because I found out that my family already has genetic anomalies, which I'm lucky enough not to have.
There you go.
Which really makes me wonder if I'm not the mailman's kid.
Fair enough. So we're just looking at Jack's office terminal. Oh, whoops, not maximum security. Patient records. So we saw that Lorenzo was admitted in 1898 and was born in 1835. They had somebody put it in, like, they had
Antonio
people...
DeSoto.
Yeah. Committed legally. Stavsky Ariella admitted herself to Parsons of her own accord.
Had no visitors or relatives. Had never admitted to crime or exhibited violent tendencies, but detailed revealed...
Matched 4 sorority poisonings at Massachusetts Bay University. Treatment art therapy results troubling. Robert Bobby Smith. Happily admits to his crime, multiple homicides. Bach toccata and fugue in D minor, only piece known to stop his laughter, which is nearly constant.
So anyway, the long and short of the whole thing with my family is that I never dated when I was in high school because I was like, fuck it, I don't want all that. And I waited until I was in college to sit there and date outside the gene pool.
Yeah. Okay, Charisse
That was the
Spano,
point.
dominatrix, admitted at the age of 44, with black leather and says conjugal visits integral to therapy. Night War. Claims his secret identity, believes he is a superhero. Isolation required. Needs extended counseling. So this is the kind of place we're in, and we're going to go ahead and save here. And then
Wait, is that alcohol on those desks?
I'll check it out later.
Note to self, check the alcohol.
Okay, vodka, bourbon, and wine.
Okay,
And we'll call it there.
sounds good.